Hey everybody, Dave Woodson, Roll with Prime Real Estate here in Northwest Indiana, and I'm hoping I'm live as on the in the group. I'm gonna actually go look real quick while we're talking because this is the first time I'm using this app, and I never use. Hey, I'm live. Live as we happen right there. How you doing, everybody? I have Dave Woodson, Rural with Prime Real Estate here in Northwest Indiana. This is Wine with Woodson, and tonight we're talking to Jay Kim. He's a broker owner down in Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama. And we're waiting for him to install an app to get here real quick. In fact, I'm going to go back and make sure he's not having any issues. He still hasn't contacted me yet, but we're moving along. I've actually prepared for the Daniel Simon's on the air. Hey, we're sounding great, and Jay Kim is joining me right now. Hey Jay, let's I can add you to the broadcast right there. Notifying you. 1, 2, 3. You're in the air. You're in the show. Nope, turning it the other way. You're fine.
Good.
You look good. You look fine.
Okay.
If one man can say that to another man.
I've got you looking at my ceiling.
Here's first thing to look at. So tonight's wine is Trapiche. It's an oak cask Malbec from 2016. So you can see that. Oh, you're drinking wine too? I finished the bottle tonight because I'm in one of those moods today. I'm using BeLive.tv. It's a new app that I'm using. It's probably for the third time, but they've updated it so I can use it better, use it smarter than anybody else. Jay, you coordinate. Can you see the comments? Can you see the comments or not?
I can see them, but they're delayed.
They're going to be a little delayed.
Okay, I'm going to turn that light off behind me.
There's a 10 or 15 second delay on the comments.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay. Had my dining room light or eat-in area light behind
and
me.
I can even add comments. I can add comments as we go along and hide them. Say like, do this.
Huh?
Dan Simon said that.
Okay. Cool.
Dan Simmons said that it was much better. So there we go. It's a new program. According to Andrew, Bill Crane will be here shortly to debunk everything that you have to say.
Okay. I welcome the critiquing.
So first of all, before we get started, where do you get your leads from? Where do you you're a listing agent. You do mostly listings. You don't do many sales. You don't do many buyers, correct?
Correct. I still work them, but not as often. I'm sorry, I'm cutting some cheese for my wine. All right, but no. Where do I get my leads?
Where do you get your listings from? Because that's really matters.
I mean, I get calls from people that I've done work with. A lot of referral business. Postcards. Those work ridiculously well. So
I'm getting ready to do my first set of postcards this week.
Okay.
I just did a just sold. I'm doing a just sold to a neighborhood that I sold 3 in the last 2 years.
Okay.
I seem to be the only agent that has any success in this neighborhood because I work it.
Good.
So,
I mean, it works. So I'm gonna place my brand here so people can see what I'm drinking and know that it's out of a exit glass.
It's fine. I have a prime real estate one, but I'm not drinking out of tonight.
Okay.
But
yeah, for me, it's a lot of organic stuff. People that I just know in the area because I've been doing it 13 years out here. So just name recognition. I don't know, things like just activities. I mean, I still work out a good bit doing CrossFit training, going to the YMCA, and I still know a lot of people from the other CrossFit. So I get a good bit of business from that.
That's good to hear. I was doing quite well in my church, but this year it seemed to dry up. It's like no one's buying houses out of my church this year.
Get into more groups, or just do more stuff that you like anyway. But don't do the stuff where the activities aren't prone to people having discussions, right? So you can go work out at a regular gym, but nobody ever talks to you at a regular gym. Nobody talks to each other at a regular gym. But in a CrossFit gym, people are a lot more intimately together. You usually paired up with people or paired up in groups. So you get to know each other on a much more intimate basis. And so because of that, you do that enough, You never have to say that you're in real estate. They just kind of tell each other about you.
Cool.
Hmm.
I used to do CrossFit. Then I blew my shoulder out.
I hear that a lot.
So
A lot.
I knew it was going bad to begin with, and I just kept pushing it and kept pushing it until I finally had no choice but to go get it worked on. Then I was out. Then I was out for a year. Then joined the Y after that.
Right.
So, so do you do a lot of expireds or for some owners? Do you contact him at all?
Expireds.
Yes, sir.
So I used to do expireds exclusively when I was first getting started in the business. So if anybody's just looking to get listings, yeah, freaking work expireds. Nobody does it anymore. Nobody does it right anymore. Um, but then again, I think most people are never taught right. I think what everybody's taught is you wake up and you turn on your computer and you look up expired listings and you make phone calls, and that's what you're taught, right?
Right. Well,
That's it.
exactly. That's how it already is taught.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that everybody's been teaching for years and years and years, right? In all the classes, they still tell you to do the same thing. They have these training sessions, and they all tell you. Hold on, I lost the app.
Oh, we lost Jay. We'll come back. Hopefully. Well, he works expired. I know the answer to this question. He works expired. I'll let him finish telling the story when he comes back. But he'll pull everything together in the morning, and then in the afternoon he'll go out and go knock on doors, and he'll walk the neighborhood and he'll leave stuff at their doorstep, and he'll go bang the. There he is back already. Maybe.
Hi again. Sorry.
It's okay.
Can you see me?
See you just fine.
Yeah, somebody chimed in. I hit a button and it took me off, so had to log back in.
It happens.
Yeah, so if you're working expireds, work them more efficiently. Do more of it and do it right. So instead of just making phone calls like everybody else, go knock on some freaking doors. So if you're going to look up expired listings, sure, go ahead and look them up. But then make sure and knock on some of those doors. And while you're at it, and I told you this the other night, look up expired listings in the area that have expired previously. So if you're already going to a zip, like in our zip code 29229, which is Northeast Columbia, look up the other ones that have expired in 29229 in the last 2 years, which haven't come back on the market. So if you're already going to an area that's far away from you anyway, visit the other ones while you're there, and then call the FISBOs that are there. So multitask. Don't just do one expired call because that's the one number that you have. Go after a crap load of them, and then in the evening do it again. So do this every single day until you have 12 listings. We always tell people get 12, shoot for 15. Once you get there, your phone's going to be busy. You never have to worry about it again. And people say, well, it doesn't work. Well, it's because you're not working. Because it doesn't work.
Right. We all know we all know who's working in the office now because in 90 days they're going to have closings.
Exactly. Yep. So when I did this exclusively, and when I left my first company, went to my second company before exit, I was so ticked off because they just cut me off. They took my listings and said, no, we're firing you today. I put in, because I came from corporate, so I gave them my 30 days notice. But on the drive home, they called me and said, no, you're gone as of today. So I went and I had 0 listings, which really ticked me off. So I just did exactly what I'm telling you. Go after expired listings. Just religiously go after them. Look up other expireds with it. Look up other FISBOs in the area. In the next 30 days, I had 35 listings.
Wow.
So yeah, people can tell me it doesn't work, but I don't care. I don't hear it because it still works today. I can still find listings every single day.
And so when you get those listings, you're getting 6, 7, 8% all day long.
Yeah, why would you? I like it. Bill Crane put 8%, getting 8% simple, Andrew. Yeah, so why not? I mean, I just left a listing appointment today, and they said, "What do you charge?" And I went, "I don't know. What do you want to pay for commission?" And they looked at me dumbfounded and said, "What do you mean? Everybody else tells us what they charge." I went, "Yeah, well, what you're going to hear from a lot of agents is the average in the area is about 6%." And then one lady goes, "Well, yeah, and we've talked to some people before, and they said, and you take the 6 and you each get half, right? You get 3 and 3." And I went, Yeah, that's what everybody's taught, but that's not how I do it. But yes, that's what everybody's taught. So yeah, I mean, if you want to go with average, then yeah, your average out here is around 6%. There's no set standard, and people are going to freak out when you use that word, but there's no standard. It's whatever you want to make of it. So our area, yeah, I would say the common commission's 6%. That's uncommon for me. So the family that I just left is probably going to list theirs at 8% as well.
Wow.
So it's $125,000 listing roughly, 8% versus 6, right? That's a big difference. 7,500 versus 10,000. That's a big difference in commission.
Huge difference in commission. Huge difference.
Right. So imagine if you do the same number of deals, but you learn how to talk about commission right. You've already given yourself a 30% increase for the year with the same number of deals as last year. Simple, right? Sounds easy, right?
Sounds easy.
It is easy.
Well, you're right. It sounds easy, but it's. I mean, I know there's a guy in Chicago that gets 7 across the board. I mean, no, he won't do it if I don't get 7, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And he takes 4 and he pays 3. Whoops, shit, Siri, stop. Sure. Siri thinks I'm sorry. Siri thought I was talking to her.
Yeah. Technology is great when it works. So.
Hey, I absolutely love it because I've actually learned to master Siri a little bit, especially in my car because I got the Apple CarPlay. I can text people on the fly now and ready to roll. And I just got to learn to speak clearly.
Nice.
Which obviously I don't at times. So how do you convince them that eight is? How do you walk out the door with an 8? How do you convince them that 8 is in their best interest?
So Bill put 6 for Jay, 2 for you. That's right, Bill. That's exactly right. Except in this one, it's 7 for me and 1 for them.
For now.
How do I convince them? I explain to them how real estate works. So once they understand how real estate works, they decide. So most people, everybody takes it from the opposite direction. Everybody says that it's an expense. It's this amount of money that you have to pay. So of course the homeowner takes it in this negative connotation. So of course they're going to think, how can I discount this? How can I get lower? Right? Because they're thinking it's money coming out of my pocket. Because that's what everybody's been taught to tell them. And they say, well, okay, here's 6%, right? 3 goes to the other brokerage. 1 goes to marketing. The other 1 goes to my company. And this is all I'm left with, right? So that's the silly argument that agents have been taught all freaking year. Every company across the board, you just hear it all the time. It's silly. Stop it. It's not why. Oh, well, unless you like getting 6%. Keep doing it. Love it. But no, I don't do that. So I let them choose. I literally let my clients choose. And they choose 7, 8% pretty regularly. If not, it's very rare, again, that I get 6.
You usually get 7 or 8.
Yes. And I let them choose it. But again, it's because I've explained it to them, and most people don't explain it to them. Why does Andrew say I can't see Jay? What is that? Why?
Because he's not very smart. I mean, let's call a spade here.
Okay. Sorry, Andrew. I got to laugh, bud.
But I see you just fine.
That's hilarious. Because, he's just not bright, so.
He's got the link to come on. If he wants to refute that argument, he has the link to come on.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So.
Yep. So, again, it's an education process that you want to take people through. Hold on. Bam. All right. So take them through the education process.
And what does that look like?
So one of my first questions could be, and it depends on how the conversation is going to start with. You never have. I'm very unscripted. So what you see in my hands, this is how many scripts I bring. Right. I don't have anything that I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the steps to take. It depends on what's going on. So one of the initial questions is going to be, and I want to make sure that we're clear and we're on the same page. your understanding is that I'm going to bring buyers to your house, correct? And they say, yes.
Yes.
That's what everybody says, right? And I say, no. So this is where the education begins. Because no, my job is not to bring buyers to your house. That's half of my job. Because the reality is there's one of me and over 3,000 agents in this area. The agents have to get to this house. So my job is to bring the buyers as well as their agents. So now, knowing that fact, I'm going to get the buyers. I'm going to put it out there. It's going to be visible. It's going on specific sites that target these buyers for this range. I'm going to bring them to it. How do I convince the buyer's agents to come? You tell me, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. What tools do I have? Go ahead. Tell me.
Well, I don't know. You mean I know as an agent, but they probably don't know.
What do you have as an agent? How can you convince another agent to come show your listing? What kind of incentive do you have? I'll give you one, but what else do you have?
Well, they have Zillow. You have Zillow. You have them. I'm trying to play the role of the buyer. I mean, but I know the answer to the question.
Yeah. So again, what do you have? There's no incentive. Just because they have Zillow, that's not going to bring that buyer's agent wanting to bring the buyer to your house.
Right.
There's no incentive there. So you can say, well, I'm going to give closing costs. Well, that's great for the buyer. Still does nothing for the buyer's agent. Well, I'm going to give a carpet allowance. Well, again, nothing to the buyer's agent. What do you have? You have to entice this guy or gal. Actually, most are women, right? So you have to entice this gal to bring their buyer to the house. And what do you have? Because they're not hourly, they're not salaried. So they're getting paid nothing. They average 6 sales a year. What do you have? What kind of tool you got? Nothing. You got commission. And that's what you want to cut. Is that a really smart move or a bad move? And then I just sit back and I wait for their response. And then a little light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah, now you understand why 91% of buyers use a real estate agent and why it's important for us to entice those real estate agents to come show your house. And what do you have? You got commission.
But my argument's going to be real quick is, but as an agent, I'm supposed to show any house that my buyer wants to go look at, I'm supposed to go show them.
Sure. Okay.
So why shouldn't I go show them the house?
Why should you?
Or why shouldn't I? I mean, by law, I'm supposed to show them the house, whether I'm getting paid 1% or 2% or 3%.
Right. Because that's not how.
But I obviously do look. I mean, I look at it. I mean, obviously, you said it the other day when I watched your video the other day. I can look at a sheet like in 2 seconds and pick out the commission in a second and a half.
Right. All the agents know exactly where the commission is. Ask them if it's on a crawl space or if it has a basement.
And I've got to look. I got to search for that.
They got to look all over for it. But yeah, where's the commission? Oh, it's 3. Oh, it's 4. Oh, it's 3.5. They know exactly where it is. Ask them if they have to call ahead and they have to look for the appointments. They don't even read the agent remarks. So stick something in the agent remarks. They don't read that. But ask them where the commission is. They know exactly where the commission is. So the reality is that's what's going on today. So why not use it? Leverage it. And this is me talking to the seller. Why not leverage it? That's the only tool you got. You want to bring more agents in? That's what you use. You use your commission.
Andrew, you're on for a reason, so speak up.
Who?
Andrew's on. Can you see him?
Andrew, where you at?
I hope that does.
I don't know where to look for him.
What I hope in life that actually.
Oh, I see him on the split screen 3-way.
Yeah, this is like a.
Andrew, you got a big head.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. It's good. It's good.
I can't hear him.
It's good to have a big head for a menage a trois of 3 dudes. So we'll stick there. But I'm going to call bullshit on that. I 100% believe that most agents don't look at CBB's
I can't hear him.
It's good to have a big head for a menage a trois of 3 dudes. So we'll stick there. But I'm going to call bullshit on that. I 100% believe that most agents don't look at CBB's. I can't hear him. It's good to have a big head for
He's saying that most agents, he's calling bullshit, and most agents don't look at commissions.
Then I will share with you all the texts that I get from agents asking why the commission is 1%, or if it's correct that the commission is 1%. Because I test this market and I'm doing the opposite right now. Instead of giving 5, I'm giving 1. You would be amazed, and I'll share with you, Andrew, how many texts I'm getting and people asking me if that's the case. How will they know if that's not the case?
Yeah, but that's
why would
after,
they look if it's not the
after
case?
they're showing the property.
Clearly, that 1% versus 3% matters to them.
No, getting paid.
So you can call BS, but again,
getting paid most of
I've
matters
got
to them.
tech.
Not
He can't hear you, Andrew, for some reason.
What's that?
He can't hear you for some reason.
Well, because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to hear the truth. Is why he can't hear me.
No, getting paid. So you can call BS, but again,
paid most of matters to them.
Tech. It's weird. I can't hear him on the phone, but I can hear him on my computer. Is there a way for me to turn him up
like a
on
reverb.
the phone?
I don't know why you can't hear him, Jay. All right, Andrew, get off. If he can't hear you, get off.
It's all over. All right.
Or I'll decipher for you.
All right. So we're just saying, you want the honest, ethical agents to leave, right? All right, I'm out.
Dude, we're at 20. We're at 25 people.
All right, turn that down, Jay. He's off now. That was a bad example.
All right, I'm out.
Okay. Sorry, Andrew.
He's saying it's unethical for what you're doing, but I don't believe that it is.
I don't care if they're unethical. I just know it happens. Oh, if I'm unethical, I can charge whatever I want. The seller's completely happy with paying their 7 or 8% to me. I get to choose where that commission goes if I'm going to co-op with somebody else. I get to choose. So they're not in the room, the dining room with me, talking to my seller, establishing that 7 or 8% commission. So what right do they have to any of it besides what I offer them? They're not there. They're not helping me to get a 7% commission. They're not helping me to get an 8% commission. So in what way is it ethical or unethical for me to not give a certain amount of commission? There's nothing there. It doesn't apply.
Marianne, I want to speak to Marianne's point real quick. Marianne Spearman says money encourages buyers agents to say nice things about the property, and she's absolutely true about this because I had a listing this year that I did a favor for the buyer, for the seller, and did a reduced commission. It was a family member, and the other agent asked me about it, why it was being sold for what it was. And it was one of the most difficult transactions we ever had. She was a roadblock at every turn we had.
Right.
She almost wanted to kill the deal every chance we had a chance. And I said, you're not controlling your client very well because this thing's. I knew this house. I knew this house intimately. I knew it was a good house. I knew it was well taken care of.
Right.
And she was just trying to be. She was just nothing but a stick in the mud without the whole process. And it was one of the first things I got. She was complaining about the commission that she was getting on. That she, from the very start, she complained about the commissions that she was getting. I think Jay just froze up on me. He froze up on me, Jay. John Grimes is in the house, everybody. Andrew, I think they will show the house, but they will shit all over the house. They will poop all over the house every chance they get. Hey, Jay's back. Are you back, Jay?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Now I see 3 screens. What the heck?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop one of you.
Okay.
I gotta drop that one.
Now I'm looking at it's weird. I'm looking at my mouth. I can only see my mouth and below on that screen. So they can hear the audio portion anyway.
Hey, they can hear you. That's all that matters. Hey, Mendoza's in the house.
So you're making a very good argument. Now learn to understand the argument that you're making. The other agent was not helping you because she clearly wasn't happy with her commission, right?
Yes.
Use that story with your seller and say, here's a past experience where the agent was not happy and was not helping with the commission. The other advantage of taking a higher commission and splitting a higher split with the other agent is because then they don't want to lose the deal. They're going to fight for that seller as much as you are if they're getting 4 or 5%. So that's the flip side. There's reasons why you would consider a 1% commission versus a 5% commission. So now we're talking about the 5% side.
Right.
And oh, by the way, I do both. Okay. So understand, I do both in my market. But there are reasons why I do one versus the other. The good reason that you want the other agent involved to help you with the transaction is the higher commission. Okay, there's your logic and your reasoning for the higher commission. So listed 8%, split it 4 and 4. The other agent's happy as all get out to get it closed. Or do it 3 to you and 5 to them if you really want to get it closed. I just closed on it was 3 and 4. The other agent got 4. I'm happy with that. Okay, she worked for it. She's also under contract with me on another house. She's getting 1.
So it evens out. It evens out.
I don't know if it evens out, but she's, she understands that it's not that I'm picking one person. It's just I'm doing things with a different philosophy by each house.
I know. God, it had to be 18 years ago now because that's when I had a 3-unit in Michigan City, and I put $1,000 seller's bonus to the selling agent, to the buyer's agent, or whatever I'm going to say it. And I had one guy. I mean, I swear to God, he put a turnstile up in the front door. He showed it like 20 times in 30 days.
Right.
Because he wanted that $1,000 bonus.
Right. Yeah. So if the bonuses work, leverage it, take advantage of it. But my question is this, and so I'm taking the other side now. So if you've worked for 6 months procuring this listing, helping them with contractors, giving them advice, helping them stage their home, how to paint it, when to do it, and so you've relentlessly worked with them, right?
Right.
And you've gotten a 7% commission. Somebody walks in the door. There's 10 people walking through the door, and somebody just writes an order. That's what they're doing. They're taking an order for a buyer because they love the house. They present that to you. Are you telling me that agent worked just as hard for that 3.5% as you did for the last 6 months? It's a silly argument. It's absolutely silly, right? You worked your tail off for that 7%. Your choice. Do what you want with it as long as the buyer, your client, your seller is okay with it. Now, sometimes it makes sense to give more. Sometimes it makes sense to take less or give less. But what I'm telling you guys is you can control that a lot more if you understand the dynamics of why. In what scenarios is that good? In what scenarios is that bad? You take your average listing and it's not priced right and it looks like crap and you only give 1% to the other side, good luck. It's never going to sell. Not never, but you know what? You just put up too many obstacles to make it very difficult. So why would you do that? That's a scenario where you would not just offer 1%. You'd want to offer 5% because you need all the help in the world from the other agent to help you to sell it. And so there's your logic. It's easy to ask your other client, your seller client, we need a higher commission because your house looks like crap. It smells like crap, looks like crap, and it's overpriced. So we need all the help you're going to get.
Right.
In the market.
So I'm going to backtrack on you a little bit. You said you market these things on specific sites. What are those specific sites?
No, in specific situations, not specific sites. Oh, no. So if I'm putting these out in certain areas, for example, if I've got a lower priced home in 120,000 range, then I'm going to find these for sale, for rent, or wanted sites, and we have 12 to 15 of them here in our area.
They're on Facebook, you mean?
In Facebook. So I'll cherry pick a few of them. You can also do this with Craigslist. You can do this with whatever area you want. So just make sure that it makes sense. So I'll put enough information out there that it entices them to want to go see it just before it hits the market. So then what happens? All of those buyers that really want to see it call their agents, and their agents show the house. So if I've done all that and I've got 12 people lined up that want to show my property that I just listed, guess how much you get in commission?
One.
What'd you earn? 1. Your buyer told you about the house. Why should you get more than 1? You didn't find it for them. You didn't take them to it. You did nothing for this. You're an order taker. Now, if in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't get an offer, okay, it's 3%. It's 4%. It's 5%. I can give as much as I want. I've got more to play with than everybody else. You need those tools via commission from your sellers, and you need to be good enough to explain to your sellers, I need those tools to be able to market your home appropriately. And that tool is commission. That's all I got. So I need it. If you don't want to give it, that's fine. You probably don't want to use me for your agent then.
Right. John Grimes says the buyer's agent works hard too. I work with buyers and sellers evenly. Both sides have their own expenses and challenges. John, you're absolutely right, but you're also constrained by the seller's agent as well.
But also, John, you get to control how much you get paid by your buyer too. Why are you relying on just the seller's side to get paid? If you're a good buyer's agent, you're controlling what your minimum amount is or what you should be paid per deal. So if I offer 1, set it up in your contract so you get a minimum of 3. At the end of the day, it still comes from the same pot. It's just packaged differently. People think it's taboo to ask for it differently than what the norm is. It's only taboo because you still assume it's taboo. It's not. It's all coming from the same pool of money. From the buyer or the seller, it's still coming from them. So why are you putting your business at the listing agent's decision, right? You're basing your career income on the listing agent's decision on what to offer you.
So you're saying I could, I know this argument because I've seen it before here locally. Put in there, closing costs to be $5,000 with $2,000 going towards extra commission for the buyer's agent.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments one more time. There's a lot of comments, so I don't know.
I know there's a lot. So you're saying I can put in the buyer's contract or the seller the offer for asking $5,000 in credit, closing costs, and or prepaids with $2,000 going to the buyer's agent for additional income or some along those lines. I'm not sure how to say it.
So you can't infringe on the contract that already exists between the listing agent and their client. So you writing it in a contract of sale, that doesn't fly because you're breaching a different contract that's out of your hands. So there's ways around that, but that's a whole different discussion. But
right,
that you can't put into the contract to void a different contract.
I'm not trying to void the contract. I'm trying to get additional income out of the closing costs.
Then call it a transaction fee, and the seller will pay an additional $2,000 in transaction fee, and that transaction fee is your buyer agency agreement fee.
Okay, that's
perfectly fine.
But it may get shot down if it's in a multiple offer situation. That's going to get shot down hard in a heartbeat.
Right. So if you're in a multiple offer situation anyway, guess what? You're an order taker. As a buyer's agent, you're an order taker. You're not working that hard. Your buyers are driving you to it. Because quite frankly, if I've got 8 offers lined up, I know they didn't work that hard for it. Those buyers found it. And I'm going to
take devil's advocate real quick, but I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work hard just as hard after the deal is signed than you are. You don't care.
If your deal falls through, I've got 5 more buyers lined up. Bye. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Right? So it doesn't matter.
Must be nice to be in a hot market like that.
No, so it's not about markets. It's business. It's how do you run your business, and just understand that there's more than one way to do it, and everybody's still taught one way. My whole point is there's multiple ways to do this. Learn them. And there are times when some are appropriate and some are not. So now, if you just randomly go and take what you're watching in this video and just start putting stuff out there, and it may blow up in your face a few times. It probably will. So
all right, yeah,
you have to learn how to do this and when to do it.
You got to have a lot of listing appointments if you're going to start asking for 7-8% because you're going to blow this script out of the water a couple times.
You may, or you just may be good enough to keep getting listings at 7-8%.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for.
So why not? I mean, we just listed a 700,000 one, which is pretty big for our area, and that's going to be at 7%. He actually considered 8. But anyway, that's another conversation. But yeah, still at 7, you're not at 6. That's still $7,000 more. I got $7,000 more to play with. Sure, somebody else, one of the comments was put an agent bonus. Yeah, fine. $3,000 agent bonus, whatever. Doesn't matter. But the point is, get it. Get it. It's...
You actually got a compliment from Andrew.
I'm sorry?
You actually got a compliment from Andrew.
Oh, are we only able to see that?
No, everybody can see that.
Okay. His confidence is that he's right. It works, Andrew. So
I'm leaving it up there for a while. I'm leaving it up there for a while for you.
Okay.
So bask in that compliment.
Because it doesn't happen often, right?
No, not at all. I don't ever get one.
Oh my gosh.
I get called stupid more often than not.
They have the money to buy.
So any we're getting close to the 30-minute mark. Actually, we're at 8:32, so we're actually going over the limit here a little quick. Any parting words of wisdom?
From who?
From you.
From me?
From you. We're at the 30-minute mark.
Parting words of wisdom.
Because I had to twist your arm to come on this show. Now you're on a roll.
In God we trust. Everybody else must bring data. The data says 82% of agents are still failing, or somewhere about 80%, right? So 4 out of 5 agents don't make a long-term career out of this. So stop learning the same way that 99% of the agents are learning in this business. Learn differently. Treat this business as a business, and stop being sheep and learning to do it exactly the same way that the average agents have learned this for decades, because the average agent for decades has failed. So learn this. Learn it differently. Try things. Experiment. Right? You're never going to get any better if you just keep doing what everybody else teaches you to do, because again, those people are teaching you because they're not doing it themselves. And when they did it, they probably sucked at it, and that's why they have to teach you, right? What do they say? If you can't do it, teach.
Right on.
So try stuff, experiment, learn different things out there, learn different ways out there. It's not just one way that works for everybody. It's not. Not everything that I do is going to work for everybody out there. Not stuff that people do out there, like I know Bill does stuff out there, right? I couldn't pull off what Bill does, but I know what I can do. I'm confident with what I can do, and I've learned the system the way that it works for me and works for my market out here. So learn it, quit doing what's average, right? All the trainings that everybody's still getting, and I still watch a lot of these trainings, it's still teaching the same crap, right? Well, everybody should get 3 and 3. Why? Doesn't anybody ever ask why? Right? What's the point of it? Is it just to get people paid? Well, what's the point of that? Isn't there value that you bring that's different than the other people involved? If you've done 1,000 deals, why are you paid the same as somebody who's doing this as their first deal, and their client walked up and brought their agent with them, and their agent wrote the contract for them, and that's what they did to earn half the income that you earned as a listing agent, and you've done 1,000 deals? Does that make any sense? Right? In our business, it makes sense every day because that's what everybody still does.
Someone had said something a while back, and it always stuck with me. We let people who won't be in business next year dictate how much we make this year.
Oh yeah.
So we have people come in, well, I'll do it for 5, and then people are like, well, you can do it for 5. So I got to come in and do it for 5,
right?
5 or 4
or 4.5, or I've got to come mow his lawn every week, or I've got to pressure wash his front. And then
so we're letting people who won't be in business next year dictate how much we make this year.
Right.
And I refuse to do that this year. I won't make as much this year because I refuse to do what they're doing. I'm retooling my business this year because I can.
Awesome. And you should, not just because you can, but you should. Every year, you should look at what's working, what's not working, instead of just, well, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Do you do Zillow? Do you do Zillow at all? Are you on Zillow? Yeah.
I don't pay for Zillow leads, no.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yep. I'm on Commissions Inc. though, so I do leads through them.
I have that platform as well.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually worked very well for us. I actually just took a listing because of that for the month. So that one listing paid for it, and the other 100 leads that I got are just extra now.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's worth it. It's been worth it so far.
Rita Lee says hi from Exit Nashville in Nashville.
Hey
Rita Lee says.
Okay. Nice. Holy crap, Daver hit 31. I want to go through and read all these comments. This is great. Wait, so if you're offering 1% and then you get an offer from an agent with double your expenses and closed sales, do you increase the commission? No, you don't. That's correct. But it's my listing. So I don't have to. So that's the thing. If you have the listing, guess what you get to control? The commission. It's yours.
I can go back and look at my listing agreement now because I know right now we get to say if I'm getting 6%, I got to tell the seller how much I'm paying the other agent now at this point.
Sure, I do too. I get their permission to make it variable.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure I've never done a variable commission. Never. In fact, I've never seen a variable commission in our marketplace ever.
So you won't see it. I have the permission to vary it. That's different. So variable commission is misunderstood in most MLSs. People think that it means you're going to vary their side of the commission. Technically, I believe it means that you can vary your commission because it's really about protecting the public, right? So all that stuff and the open disclosure is about protecting the general public. So if two offers come in at 200,000 and you drop your commission by a point to double side it, your deal is better than theirs, even though it's the same deal, because you just dropped your commission. You're disclosing to the other parties that that's a possibility that you're going to vary your commission. That's the variable commission that you see in the MLS. What I'm talking about is different. What I'm talking about is I get an 8% listing, and my client says, and it's like the post that I put on Owls that said, you can do whatever you want with that commission. Thank you. Now I can do what I want. 7% to me. Oh, by the way, that same post, that same listing is under contract. I put it on the market 2 days later, full price offer. I'm getting 7, they're getting 1.
Wow.
Now, if it sat a little longer, yeah, I probably would have gone as high as 5 to the other side. Didn't have to. 48 hours.
Does the 1% commission cover the bottle of wine? Yes, it does, and then some.
Here's a nice Italian bottle. Is very, very good with the cheese.
Did you?
Yes, it more than covers, but
he's been cutting the cheese all night.
Wrong, just wrong.
I know.
So get good cheese, and it makes the good wine taste even better.
You know what I discovered a couple years ago? They have beer and cheese tasting.
Oh yeah.
I didn't. Well, I wasn't a beer guy. I'm not a beer guy at all. But they were like comparing. They're like, here, this cheese goes good with this beer. And I'm like, come on, seriously? And they were absolutely fucking correct. I was impressed.
All right. Any other? I bet. Oh, jeez, really, Andrew? Dear God, man. We need to.
He gets away with murder in this. Him and I get away with murder in this room.
You know, like how some kids need a helmet all the time because they run into walls. We need a muzzle on Andrew every once in a while. We need a way to filter him before he posts. Oh my God.
Well, I could have not showed that comment, but I did anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty happy with Be Live. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out great. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad I paid for the year. I'll do it again. There it is again. It's Mike Holbrook, Dr. Evil. We call Mike Holbrook Dr. Evil. He looks like Dr. Evil.
I program my old searches for a minimum of 2.5%. For buyers, anything lower won't show up.
Wow.
But then you're shorting your clients with some potentially good listings. Because Fannie Mae, no, is it Fannie? No, we get 2.5.
Fannie Mae pays 3.
Fannie Mae, yeah, you guys get 3. We get 2.5. Right. But there's a lot of banks still that only offer 2.5. So you may be shorting your client some of these good deals because it's only 2.5 or less. It's interesting to look Here, Andrew.
Top of the morning.
Talk about ethics here because agents won't show their homes, show homes with low commission. I agree that is unethical. But we're not here to ask what's ethical or unethical. We're having a conversation based on what the reality is and how agents actually act in this business. So whether they do the right thing or wrong thing, I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is it happens. And we need to understand why it happens and control our business so we're taking advantage of why it happens.
I look at 3 things when I look at the listing. When a buyer sends me a listing they want to go look at, I look at 3 things. Does it fit the criteria they sent me originally? The commission and who the selling agent is.
Yep.
Because if she's a bitch or he's a dick, I'm just going, oh shit, I got to deal with them again.
See, I look forward.
And I say that. It's like, listen, this is a nice house, but the listing agent is a complete bitch. She's horrible to work with. So just just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I actually look forward to some of the ones that have made previous deals difficult. But I'm weird like that. I don't look at anything I try, so everybody has bad days, I get that. But I try to not let my past bad days influence my current days, right? So if they gave me a bad experience, I'm just going to have fun with them on this deal. Like one lady was awful, and so I called her by a very formal name. I called her the queen the whole time, but I would say it's Mrs. Whoever. Every time I talked to her, I wouldn't call her by her first name. I would always say in a very formal way, yes, Mrs. Whoever. I drove her absolutely freaking bonkers. So for this whole closing that took about 40 days, I drove her insane the whole time.
The worst one I'd ever done to another agent. So I had what's that called? What's the app that you can call people?
Slide dial.
Slide dial.
Yeah.
I was slide dialer, and then complained that she always put me in a voicemail. And then she'd call back, and I put her in a voicemail. She goes, "I don't know why you go to voicemail." I'm like, because I purposely.
That's wrong, man.
I know.
Tools in the wrong hands is just use your powers for good, not evil.
But I love just driving her nuts.
Oh man, that's great. All right. Well,
fake Dave is watching. Who's fake Dave?
Fake Dave is. I wonder if he has pants. What?
For the record, I don't have pants on. I have shorts on.
Don't. Oh my gosh. Right.
Hey, it was 50 degrees here in Northwest Indiana today. Of course I had shorts on.
That's great.
Well, on that note, Jay, I appreciate you being on with me tonight. And anytime you want to come on, you did a fabulous job. You're welcome to come on the show.
Well, thank you, Dave. I've enjoyed it. This is fun.
You should do it more often.
You know that, but I'll do it for you.
I appreciate it. You were great. You're fabulous. You brought a lot of information to the table. I hope everybody paid attention to this and will watch it later. And if they don't, they're missing out.
Yeah, if they get a little bit more and they get a few more listings the right way this year, then it was worth it.
I appreciate it, Jay. Do you want any one last word, or how to contact you, how to find you, or anything like that?
J Kim Real Estate. Just Google it. Yeah, JAE. Yeah, you'll find me.
Good enough.
Find me on Facebook. Find me on Real Estate Owls. I mean, come on. Just
you're one of the admins here.
Right. Oh,
I haven't finished the bottle yet. It's gonna be able to be done here in a short.
Don't drink bad wine. Get good wine.
Jay is as much fun to tease as the Daver.
I don't know. He's pretty fun to tease.
I've been teased with the best of them.
But he's good, and I got to give it to him, man. And it's not just on our side. I see him doing it on all of them. So here's to you, Andrew. Keep it up. Thanks,
Jay. You guys have a good night. And if you guys got any questions, feel free to give me a call at 219-872-8000. Email me at dwoodson@gmail.com or find me in that other box right here. I'm always doing what I got to do.
Cool.
What was the site that you, Commissions Inc. He uses Commissions Inc.
Yes.
I'll type it in here real quick for you. Commissions.
Or Cinc. CINC. God, it's good wine. I got to buy this again.
I don't know if I spelled it right. Oops. I did it right. They're out of Atlanta, aren't they? Are they still out of Atlanta? Or do they
yes, I think they're out of Atlanta.
Yeah. So look them up. And they're well worth it. You get a lot of good leads on it. They do Facebook advertising. They do Google pay for search, and
that's right.
All that stuff like that. And it's well worth your money if you can afford it, because it's at least $1,000 to $2,000 a month at least.
Well, and then you got to buy leads. So yeah, on top of that, so there's a platform price plus you got to buy the leads. And right. Honestly, if you're not going to do $400 to $1,000 a month in buying leads, don't do it. It's just frustrating. Because even if you get a couple deals that year that still pays for it, you only had 2. So 1 every 6 months is what you get. You feel like you're not getting anything, even though you are. So get enough that it justifies it. Or just don't do it. Just go knock on doors every day.
Yeah. Do that first, and then if you want another good site to look at, go look at Easy Agent Pro. Easy Agent Pro.
Okay.
That's another good site to go look at. Complacer is another good site to look at. You can do leads through them just as easy as anybody else. It's just a matter of it's the platform you use. That's all that matters. It's whatever platform. It's like a CRM. It's the platform that you use.
Right.
Some just make it easier than others. Some do it for you and some don't.
That is correct.
Commissions Inc., TorchX, Curator are the ones that do it for you. But they do it for you at a cost.
That's right. That's right. So don't spend money until you have to, right? So it's a money and time thing, and I always use my hands as two different things to explain. So when you're starting off, you have all this time and you have no money. So do the things that you can with time. Knock on doors, make phone calls, do open houses. And after time, you start making money and you start running out of time, right? This explains why I send out 30,000 postcards at a time. This explains why I have a leads platform for the office, right? And for myself as well. It's because I don't have any time, but I've got real estate income, right? So until that happens, you're here. Take advantage. You guys can blow apart your competition because you have all the time in the world. You can take over any neighborhood that you want just by doing open houses, but do them right. But you can take over any neighborhood because you have this, which is time. And I don't have that. And I'm sure not going to do any more open houses if I don't have to. So I'm going to take advantage of it because I've got no time and I've got money. So I'm going to take advantage of the money and leverage it.
On that note, you guys have a good week, and we'll be back next week with Dan Simon.
Cool.
And we'll go from there. You guys have a great week. Talk to you next week.
Thanks Dave.
Appreciate it for being on.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Bye.